All right, you guys, here we go. We have the 85-inch Bravia 9 Mark II that I'll be setting up, doing a little unboxing. I already unboxed the 75-inch. I have a video on the 75-inch. But as you can see here, I exchanged the 75 for the 85 because we all know the 85-inch is the true Bravia 9 Mark II. And what I mean by that is we all know for the most part, well, not we all do, but enthusiasts, people in the forums, those that, have been doing this for a while, know that majority of the time when it comes to Sony mini LEDs, the 85-inch size is significantly different. Well, let me not say significantly, but it's usually different compared to the smaller sizes. The 85-inch panels are usually purchased from AUO versus CSOT for the smaller sizes. And the 85-inch panel usually has a high native contrast panel, gets brighter, more zones. So traditionally, with Sony mini LEDs, the largest sizes are usually the best models, such as with this model, the 115-inch is the best model. It has a glossy screen, highest zone count, highest brightness. But for the affordable people that can't afford a $30,000 TV, the 85-inch it's basically the size. If you could fit it, it's the size that you want, because most likely it will perform the best. The only exception with OLEDs usually perform the same across the sizes. One usually is not better than the other. The only exception with that was when Sony released the A80L OLED. The 83-inch A80L was a completely different TV from the smaller sizes. Had a different panel, was brighter, also was a glossy screen, while the smaller sizes had a matte screen, different panel, wasn't as bright. I believe they did that with the A80J as well. The 77-inch A80J was a glossy screen with a higher brightness panel, while the 6555 A80J was matte and not as good as the 77-inch. But that was the only time I remember Sony doing that for the OLEDs. But when it comes to these mini LEDs, it's usually the largest size performs the best and has different specs, different parts from different, manufacturers. And so trying to get the 85-inch out a try compared to the 85-inch Z9K. But I'm just showing here, unboxing it. I did the exact same unboxing for the 75-inch. So if you want to see like a full unboxing, you could go there. But in this video, I believe I pretty much do the same exact thing. But let's get into it. Yeah, I'm pulling out all the materials here. That's that Mirage plate thing that goes in the stand that makes your cables disappear. I'm not putting that on. Styrofoam off. Part of my house. My house is a mess. I have 3 kids, 6 and under. House is crazy. Can never catch up to the clutter. Toys everywhere, shit on the table. That's life for 3 kids under 6, man. Both parents work full time. It's rough. Anyway, here goes the beast. Let me try to get this box off.
2-1.
Look at it sitting nicely in there, nice and thick. Now, this 85-inch is not as heavy as the 85-inch Z9K. Altogether, this TV is 106 pounds, I believe, 106. And the 85-inch Z9K is like 122 or something like that. With the stand on it, the Z9K is 130-something pounds. And with the stand on this, it's like 100 and... I think it's like 116 or maybe 120, because the stand on this is super heavy. That center plate is very heavy. But they're both super heavy TVs, but the Z9K is about 20 pounds heavier than the Bravia 9 Mark II at 85 inches. Anyway, showing you her. In all her glory, took the box off. Well packaged, well protected. And there go my monster kids. Don't let me do anything.
Jalen Brunson is the gift that keeps on giving. A celebration for the Brunson family, a celebration for the Knicks family. Much more to come from San Antonio. I've thrown a lot of passes. Well, breaker number 10. The thing about a pass is that you have to let it go. Trust someone else to carry it forward. Like New York did for 53 years. Refusing to let it drop. Scheming and scheming. Through the doubting and the drowning. Because that's what he does. Keeps the ball moving with grit, hustle, and heart. 53 years in the making. Very well. Champion. Oxygen of pro sports, and Knicks fans endured so many losing seasons the past couple of decades. Couple of 17-win seasons, 23-win seasons. They invest so much time, so much money, so much emotion. They care so much. It hurts when they lose, but boy, when it finally happens, the pure joy makes it all worthwhile. And the Knicks become the 8th different champion in the past 8 years for the NBA. Right now, let's get the post-game ceremony started. We send it to PA announcer Roland Ruiz.
Now it's center court for the presentation of the Larry O'Brien Trophy and the 2026 Bill Russell NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award. Here is ABC's Ernie Johnson.
Thank you very much. If you were a basketball fan, man, we just saw something pretty special, didn't we? And I know it is trophy time, but before that, can we acknowledge the great season and the great playoff run by the Western Conference champions, the San Antonio Spurs. number one, congratulations to you. Back in January, you were saying, you know what? I think we should get to the finals, and I think we should win the finals. What did you see in this team in January that thought that you're going to be standing here on this night?
I saw a team. We were a team. We've been a team the whole time. I want to say something to New York. Hey, New York, I'm sorry it took so long. But you know we are, and hopefully it won't take that
How much satisfaction do you get? How much satisfaction do you get out of seeing a team you the guy behind you right here, Carl Anthony Towns, has said you have instilled a family atmosphere. How did you do that?
Just by caring about each other. Just by caring about each other. And making sure that we all look out for one another, have each other's back, sacrifice, and do it for the better good.
Well done. Congratulations on a championship. Can I get the captain up here? Taylor? You know how many weeks have scored 40 in final game? We're looking at it. I'll do it again for probably not. Hey, where does this knack for the comeback come from? What is it about this unit that allows you to do that time and time again?
For some reason, I feel like the game for us starts 30 minutes later than it's supposed to. We didn't show up at 8:30, we showed up at 9 o'clock.
The city of New York here? Can I get your dad up here with you for this portion of the broadcast? How you doing? Congrats. For anybody who's a fan of father-son moments, doesn't get much better than this.
This is crazy. Couldn't imagine this, but we're excited as a family, as a team. It's just great, man. I have no words. I'm just so excited.
I grew up watching this guy. I learned a lot about the game from this man. What does it feel like to stand next to him holding that trophy and the Knicks having this trophy, Billy?
It's everything we dreamed of. That's why I came to New York.
I congratulate you. You know what? I congratulate you. That was awesome to see. And Dad, happy for you too, as well. Mike Brown, can we get the head coach up here? Hey, Mike, you've been here before. You've been to the finals before. It was many years ago. this outcome a little bit more. Hey! Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? We got some dogs on this team, baby! New York City is full of dogs, and we came to get it! Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? We're to put me in the most uncomfortable position of all time. Hey, look, there have been 359 coaches in the history of the NBA. 38 of them know what it feels like to win a championship. You're number 39, so tell me how it goes.
Man, it's amazing. It's surreal. I still can't believe it's happened. I'd like to thank Mr. Dolan, Leon Rose, my entire staff, man. My entire staff was phenomenal. All the players. Just as importantly, I'd like to thank all the fans in New York because you guys are freaking great, man. You make this thing so real. You're unbelievable.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jim. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
I would love OG Anunoby to step forward if he would. Look, you know, I'll win. In 2019, you won a ring with the Toronto Raptors. You did not play in that series because of the appendicitis. And now you play such a huge role, and nobody in this joint will forget what happened in Game 4. How special is it to be a big part of a championship team?
It's very special, you know. It's what we've been working for the whole season. This is our dream, you know. It was our goal, and we did it.
Congratulations to you. I would love to get. Hey, Josh, can you come up? Josh and Mikal. Josh and Mikal Bridges together, please. Oh, okay, here we go. Look. Can you tell me, can you put in the work? Look, you guys teamed up. These Nova Knicks for a national championship. When you combine for an NBA championship now, how does that feel?
Man, that's an amazing feeling, man. First and foremost, glory to God, man. He's why we're here. He's why we played. But man, it's an amazing feeling. Hey, man, forget them picks. Forget them picks, dog. We here. We here.
Mikal, same thing to you. That is such a special relationship the three of you guys have. And to finally achieve that and win that championship, put it into words for me.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I call these two my brothers ever since, you know, I've been with them, you know, at Villanova. It was great to call all these other guys my brothers too, man. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So I'm proud of everybody. I'm very grateful.
And lastly, we will talk to another starter. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Come on up here, Pat. You have drawn, there's been divine inspiration in the course of this playoff run for you. Can you put that into words for me? You know, you worked your whole life for this moment.
Throughout my career, I'll see myself fall down. People told me to stay down and I got back up. Even when I was in the mud and I kept putting my left foot in front of my right foot. I kept trusting God. I kept trusting my faith. I kept trusting the work. Like this team has always said since the beginning, it is written. This was written for New York, and we went and got it done today. And it's because of all the brothers here, because of the fans. It's because of all y'all, and I appreciate everyone, but y'all heard my story, y'all know my story, and I just want to say, Thank you, Mama. I appreciate you getting you one. Hey, congratulations. I'm happy for you. What I'm hearing again, these are your 2026 NBA champions, the New York Knicks. And Mike, as I told you, let me just say, what an honor it's been for I'm speaking on behalf of the Inside the NBA crew to be part of your team, to work with you. Honor to be your teammate. Thank you.
Harry, we feel the same way. So much love. And it has been a privilege to have them join us and be a part of our NBA players.
So they have this, wanted to just show you guys real quick this new My Cinema feature. This My Cinema thing is new this year for Sony TVs. It's basically like some form of AI, AI presets. So before, for the past several years, the thing was the ambient lighting, where things would adjust based on your ambient lighting. Now they have this new My Cinema thing where they just have everything preset to what Sony feels, which what your settings should be. Nothing changes on the fly. They don't use any ambient light sensors and none of that stuff. It's just pre-set up for different viewing environments. So just go here to view more. So they have Director's Cut, which reproduces video as intended by the filmmaker. They have Daytime, improves visibility and during bright viewing. They have Dialogue, makes it easy to hear. So sorry about the light fluctuations. It's not the TV, that's this light cannon of a TV over here, the Z9K. Just waiting to go against the 85-inch Bravia 9 Mark II. So I'm gonna go through this little demo thing they have. So Director's Cut reproduces video as intended by the filmmaker. So this is Sony's most accurate mode to them. If you want to watch a TV in the most accurate mode and not have to touch anything, you use My Cinema and use the Director's Cut setting. Then they have the Daytime setting. Improves video visibility even in a bright room. So if you're in a bright room during the daytime, they say they have the proper preset setting for that as well. And you'll use that one. So just wanted to show you guys this new My Cinema thing that they have. Some people are asking about it. Some people think, trying to use it because in the settings, I'll show you that as well a little later. When you go into the settings to change your picture settings, it now has this extra option of whether you want to use the My Cinema preset or you want to use the regular video preset and you adjust the settings on your own, so you could go back and forth, see which one you like better.
College atmosphere down there, and all these high-profile folks and just regular fans, everybody. This run by the Knicks has brought a lot of people together.
So a specific button on the remote that you press while watching a movie to display the My Cinema menu, as it says here. All right. Okay, just want you guys to see the contrast difference. So I have both of these on the exact same settings. So they're both in custom mode. Same brightness. Peak luminous low, auto local dimming high. This is professional, which is basically custom. Custom used to be the most accurate mode. Now they call it professional ever since the 2023 models. They stopped calling it custom with the 2022 models, and in 2023 forward they started calling it professional. And same brightness, all local dimming high, peak luminance low. The backlight on this is on color because it's Star RGB. But as you can see, the fine contrast is pretty obvious. Let me try to focus in on the Z9K a little more. This is the Z9K on the stand. This is the 85-inch Bravia 9 Mark II. The new 85-inch Bravia 9 Mark II I just unboxed, and this is the 85-inch Z9K. But you can see it's a little more exaggerated, of course. In person, it doesn't look this bad, but it gives you an idea. In person, it does not look like this at all. But this does give you an idea. Let me try to focus it in a little bit more. So it's not blowing up now. But there's a slight glow you see around the letters. In person, it doesn't look the way it looks on camera, but this looks obviously better in person than this one does. You see around her hair, it's a bit lifted around her hair. In person, you don't see this white glow that's around her hair. You don't see this haloing. This haloing you see on the camera, that's due to the camera. In person, you don't see that. But it does have like a, it is not as contrasty overall to the naked eye. You don't see this halo, but her hair is a bit lifted. Like you can see her hair texture and everything more here. I don't know if it's I don't have no master mouse, so I don't know which one is correct. But on the Z9K, you see more of her hair, more detail. It looks more like a, you know, like a light black, like grayish. On the B9 Mark II, you see none of that. Her hair is black. There's no haloing. The color of her hair looks black. There's no haloing whatsoever on camera or in person. You see how her hair looks like this haloing on camera around her hair and around the letters. It's not like that in person, but the overall picture, it doesn't look as contrasty as Bravia 9 Mark II. And with the Bravia 9 Mark II, if you're tracking me, there's no haloing whatsoever on camera, plus in person, you can tell the contrast is like OLED level. It's like micro contrasty. Like you can see the depth between her eyes and the sword. Her hair is black. There's no haloing anywhere. Some people may think that this is like crushing. It may look like it's crushing black, but in person it's not. But here, you can see it's a bit lifted overall across the screen around her hair. Just to show the difference in contrast between this RGB and the Z9K. I hope what I said is, hope I'm relaying it properly, conveying what I'm trying to say well, but your eyes could tell. But as I said, if you're worried about blooming, all that is not to the naked eye. You can't see this blooming, It's like hidden well with whatever coating or whatever they have on the screen. But you can tell the difference in contrast between this TV and this TV with the naked eye. The camera just exaggerates it even more. But in person, you do see the difference. This still looks good. The Z9K also seems to have like a warmer white point than the Bravia 9 Mark II. But the Bravia 9 Mark II color pops better. The black levels are way better. The color pops are way brighter. It just looks like a freaking OLED. I mean, I'm just being honest.